Hey, my name is Pinky Ghelani. You are watching Pinky TV. This is What Women Want, and we are on season 3. The theme is all about unlearning. You know that I always say I love my job because of the amount of people who come across to the show, sit with me and talk to me. I'm so excited about my guest today. She's going to give us so many tidbits and nuggets. These conversations are brought to you by SBM Bank, so make sure you're here all the way till the end, and leave a comment if you are watching on Facebook. Let us know where you're watching from. If you're on YouTube, subscribe to my channel, right? June,
channel.
My channel?
Yeah.
It's June Gachui.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi.
Wow. How
Wow.
awesome are you?
Gosh. I appreciate.
You should.
Should?
These are private jokes. All right, so June, you know what we do on this show is we get our guest to introduce themselves, sort of unlearn this habit of being introduced and completely stepping into your full essence, owning who you are and being unapologetic.
Okay.
So it's over to you, sis.
Hey, I got my neck going. Yeah. I'm ready. Okay. Any moment now?
Any moment.
Okay.
Whenever you're ready.
Yo. So, my name is June Gachui. I have 2 other names, but you will discover those when I become president of the world. I am currently an intellectual property lawyer practicing in Nairobi, Kenya. I'm also an entertainment lawyer and consultant. I am a musician, singer-songwriter, mistress of ceremonies. I am a voiceover artist, a TV presenter, a radio show host, a great dancer. Oh my gosh, you have no idea. I'm part of an improv comedy group called Because You Said So. I'm also an award-winning thespian or actress. I am a dope individual, a sister to 2 girls, 2 siblings, sisters, and a daughter to my parents, and a fun-loving Kenyan.
You're awesome.
I think so.
Awesome sauce.
I think so.
Yeah.
God love me,
I'm telling you.
I'm awesome.
It's so nice to be able to hear that, you know, somebody completely owning who they are.
Yes.
Taking your time, not rushing through it either, you know. And when you say, I'm dope, we don't hear a lot of people saying that.
Yeah, me, I like to speak facts.
Yeah.
I like to present them.
Yeah.
And I realize that it starts with us. So how I perceive myself is how I present myself. And then people respond to what you present. So it has to start from in here. Even if people tell you you're amazing, you're this, and you don't believe it, you haven't seen it yet, it's not going to do anything.
So what happened in June's childhood to make her realize and understand that she's dope?
That she's dope. Where? I had parents who were just like, what's wrong with this individual? What is she doing? Why is she running around all the time? And then because they didn't understand it, they were just like, let her explore whatever it is she's going through. So I had an amazing childhood. When I think about it, I smile. I have fond memories. We were one of those families who relocated very early. So I was born in Mombasa. And when I was about 4, I think, we moved to Nairobi. And then we were here for maybe 3 years. And then my dad got posted to work in France.
Oh, wow.
And so we were just like packed up. I think I was at Nairobi Primary in 2nd term of Standard 1.
Oh,
Standard
wow.
1. Yeah. So then we're on a plane and we're off to Paris. None of us speak French except for my dad. And we're just like, so this place is cold, man. Why are we here? What did we do? I think at some point we thought we were being punished because you've sort of met your friends. But anyway, Paris was amazing. We were there for 2.5 years, learned the language like we drank it up like the way a sponge soaks up water. And my sisters and I very quickly learned the language. Went to school there for a bit. My mom was working at the UN. And my dad continued working for this petroleum company. And then we got posted to Abidjan, Ivory Coast in West Africa. So after 2.5 years, pack up again, move across to West Africa, which is still Francophone. So continued with the French. By this time, the Swahili has gone. The English went from Nairobi, Kenyan Swahili to like American French-ish I don't know what accent we had. But we were those chicks of Jambo, Jambo, Buana. to you. And so, but right off the bat, like by the time I was in Paris and in Abidjan, this was like the early 80s now. And so your Madonnas had come out, right? Your Whitney Hustons had come out. And that soft rock, you know, so this was June with her T-shirt, which was now her long hair.
Okay,
yeah.
gotcha,
And then the
gotcha.
hairbrush was the microphone.
Yes.
And I would perform for my parents, my family, our neighbors, anybody who would listen. The guy who would sell us bread, I'd be like, "Can I sing for you?" And he's just like, just buy the bread first. So I very early on, I think this was my mode or medium of expressing myself. In school, I was in the school choir. We would do skits, and I think being that exposed to that artistic expression that early on was, I think, the perfect recipe. What I do have to say is my folks could have stifled it. Look, we are an African family. Our society at the time was not that open-armed in terms of welcoming. You know, people are musicians. They failed in life.
Job.
Also, it means you failed.
So you
Pinky, by the time you are becoming a Musani, everything else in your life failed. And so I give them a lot of credit because they nurtured it. They said, okay, look, you have to do your work, you have to do your homework. I would do it, I would do well. Then now they're like, yeah, we don't really have a choice now. That was the condition. She got a B. Okay, let her go and dance.
Sing,
you know, so and that was it. And so they sent me, when we moved back to Kenya after about 6.5 years, I got enrolled into singing classes. And my mom was like, as I go to Westlands to do my shopping for the house and the groceries, why don't I drop you? Tell the teacher to just let you sing everything, so it's out of your system. Okay, finish. Then when you come back home, you can, you cook, you do your errands and that kind of thing. And then my teacher was like, actually, you sound okay. Would you want to take this seriously? And then I laugh. And I'm like, who takes music seriously? And she's like, people do actually. This is the job I'm doing, hello. And then she was the first person, her name was Lois. She was the first person who sort of like explained it to me in a way that was, so this is not just another subject we take in school. And that was important, I think, that I had these people in my lives, my parents and Lois and Carol and all these amazing teachers who showed me the passion they had for music. I mean, I had a decent voice, to be honest. I've not always sounded like this. I wish I could just say, my first sound.
I was born now.
First sound out of my mouth, darling, was amazing. No, it was not. But they taught me how to breathe. They taught me how to use the instrument and how to sing with feeling and expression. And then the rest, I think, literally just comes from God.
Wow. So what happens when you come back to Kenya? How old are you at this point?
I'm about
Teenage?
11 and a half, 12,
okay.
yeah. It's about 12, yeah.
And you're at home, but you don't feel at home because you don't speak the language. You've left all your friends behind. You're sort of a bit confused, and you're reaching that awkward age of being a teen. How do you find yourself? And yet you are finding yourself through music.
I'm finding myself through music. Reacquainting ourselves. You know, it was a weird time when you're, I want to say, ripped out of this life that you know. And you're right in terms of you've started setting your friendships for life pretty much. I'm still friends with my friends from back then. And at 12, you know, you've had your first boyfriend, and or at least, you know, in Europe these things happen. And so coming back, it was reconnecting with family, with cousins. All my friends who I was in school with in Standard 1 are now preparing for their Standard 8 exams. I can't relate. The way we've been taught, the school systems were completely different. Even my folks finding us a school that could gel, we now went into the British system. So we did the GCEs at Green Acres, which doesn't even exist anymore, but was a great school, Gas Girls Forever. And so that moving into that system, I mean, I remember writing essays, and you know how Americans spell flavor with O-U-R, and the British, or with O-R, and the British
with O-U-R.
So my essays would bleed with red ink. Like, this is wrong. I get the direction and the message,
your spelling
but your spelling's
is
horrendous. horrendous. And so I had to like unlearn and relearn, right?
Okay.
How to spell. So I struggled a little bit, but then I found a great group of girls at Green Acres who I think made it easy to just, you know, and I think I was so outspoken anyway. I was like this like shiny person who used to just come and tell them stories.
Yeah.
So when I was in Abidjan and when I was in France, and they were just like, yeah, okay, now you're in Limuru.
Yeah.
Shush. And I look, we're very good friends still today. They're like family.
Yeah.
And I think if it wasn't for them, to be honest, and all of us going through that motion together with my sisters and my folks, it would have been difficult, I think, because we were those kids who've been away.
Yeah.
You know, you have some relatives who go, they're very friendly, yeah? You know, they hug everybody. We don't do that here. And we were just, you know, the French, like, salute.
Yeah.
You
3
kiss you
kisses.
4 times. But that was just rediscovering who we were as Kenyans back in Kenya, but not losing the experience that we'd had, having lived abroad for 6.5 years.
It's amazing that, you know, I mean, I was expecting to hear a bit more trauma there, but it sounds like it was very easy. Do you think that's because of how maybe your parents made it, you know, they didn't put fear in you, they didn't sort of say, okay, you're going to school and if people are not nice.
Yeah.
Do you think it's that, or do you think it's just...
I think, do you know, look, school in Kenya back in the early 80s was...
harsh.
We would be beaten when you haven't swum the right way. You would be beaten when you're late. And so I remember asking our folks when we first moved to France, are they going to beat us here? Like, that was the first thing. And they said, no, it's against the law. We're like, thank you. Jesus, score. And then that was it. Everything else, that there were white people, didn't matter. We were never taught color.
Yeah.
We were in an international school, so I mean, I had Asian friends, and I mean Asian like Indian, Japanese, Chinese, Korean, you know, it didn't matter. And then people from West Africa and East Africa are different. People from the Caribbean are different. We may look the same, but we're completely different. And so it just became this wonderful pool of just different people getting to understand a little bit more. So I think my mind was definitely more open. I would struggle sometimes with maybe the narrow-minded views of my fellow Kenyans when I came back, because I'd already experienced a different thing, you know, a different level of tolerance, I think, would be the best way to put it. And so maybe my views were a little bit too liberal on some things, but I don't regret that at all. I don't regret that at all. And my folks didn't, they didn't even know better. So I think we were all just discovering as we go along.
And that's a good way to live, right?
Yes.
So you're not expecting anything,
At
you're
all.
not preparing for anything, you're just living.
You're open, open. The first sleepover we got invited to, my dad was like, sleep what? What is that? What is wrong with your bed in this house? So I'm like, but Dad, everybody's doing it. And then my friend's parents had to come and explain.
Okay.
So this is a sort of, okay, so we do this in the States, and now it's basically the friends, you can bring the children over, sit down and have dinner with us and have a glass of wine, and then you guys go and we'll let the kids talk and watch a movie. Oh. So does she need to come? I mean, it was just like learning this new thing, breaking it down. But we were all going through that together. So it wasn't like one person knew more than the other. And I think that safety net was good to have.
The exposure, do you feel, you know, to these different people, these different countries, do you feel it built your confidence as you got older?
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
So you're able to handle different situations, different people.
And different audiences. You know, even now when I MC events and they say, oh, well, this couple, this guy is from France, this lady is from I don't know where. Yeah. And I'm just like, fine, let's go. I get their humor, I get their references, and it's added to my professional career. It's added to my appreciation of just a better worldwide view of what's going on. So definitely built my confidence, because then I realized, oh, so I'm the only one in this group who knows this? So this is then the X factor that I'm going, this is why I'm dope. Oh, cool. So yeah, so that's, I definitely think it did add to my confidence.
So now, as a young girl, you've discovered your voice. You're like Madonna, Whitney Houston. This is me.
True blue, baby, I love you. In the shoulder action. Shoulder. Yeah. I've discovered my voice. You said Madonna, Whitney.
So what happens now? Because, you know, you're a teenager and you're like, I'm going to be famous. I'm going to be a singer. But something inside you, or maybe the influences around you, are like, no, you're going to study law.
So it's a weird sort of like circle that happened because I was so into the arts. I would watch movies, I would watch TV shows.
Okay.
I would listen to music, watch music videos and concerts, and just literally immerse myself in that manic, you know, amazing world. But then I also found shows like LA Law and then I would watch them, and these lawyers would be like in their suits with their big hair, with a lot of hairspray, shoulder pads, and then these pink or white pumps. I was like, that's gonna be me.
Okay.
And then they were like, objection. I'm like, oh my God, what does that mean? I want to say objection.
Have you managed?
No, I don't even practice law in a courtroom.
No? Okay, should we give you
that
that opportunity? You can say it on camera.
Objection, Your Honor. Badgering the witness. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Yeah.
But it painted a very different picture of what the practice of law was.
Yeah, I know.
And so in my mind, I was like, yep, I want to do that. Yep. And then I want to be the judge. Yep. And then I want to be the Chief Justice. Yep. That was the career path.
Yeah.
Okay. And because I never stopped singing or performing from primary school all the way to high school, even through university, there was school. My folks' words were always in my mind, like, do your work and then sing, or act, or do whatever. Do your work, pass your exams. So even with my work life now, I practice law and then I have my performances. And that balance, I understood it from the get.
Yeah.
And so when people ask me, how do you balance? Did you struggle? I'm like, no, there's enough hours in the day. And I have my sort of mental space that needs to be fed by the law. And then there's like my soul and everything that needs to be fed by the creative arts. So I like the law because it just helps you to figure out how to solve problems. And in the creative space, that's exactly what you're doing. You're filling a need, you're fulfilling a need for somebody.
Yeah.
You're finding an entertainment solution. So when a client calls you and says, we have an event and, you know, we'd like you to come and, so I said, so what is your event? Who's coming? What do you want them to feel? What do you want them to get? So it's not just slap, you know, copy paste the same sort of, okay, this band can just come and do this, or this MC can come and do this. I take the time to get a little bit into how to solve that problem for them. So for me, it's the same mental process. And I like the law because it's there's no real gray areas. It's sort of like black and white. And then the gray area is the heart of it. You know, somebody murdered someone, but then there were mitigating circumstances. They were trying to avoid an accident and whatever the case could be. And that's where equity in the law comes in, the fairness and the ability to express the gray areas in a way that's still just and fair. And with music, you could be having a bad day, or with art, you could be having a good day. But you still need to, you know, the show must go on. How many times have we been told that?
The show must go
I'm crying, this boy broke my heart, but hey, people paid for tickets, get on stage. So I see a lot of parallels between the two. And so I never really struggled. I never felt like I even wanted to go and study music in university. This was not something that crossed my mind, because I'm just like, then I wouldn't be able to do law. Yeah. But then as I'm doing law, I can also do music, and I can do theater, and I can do dance, and I can still do all of these things.
That's amazing, because also, you know, you're sort of told, well, we were told when we were growing up, you can, what do you want to be when you grow up? It's like one thing.
That's what the expectation was.
Yeah, that's what, you know, so for you to be able to have done that and balanced it and be successful in both today, what happens in your mind where you're just like, this is the way it is? What self-talk maybe do you have within yourself? You're just like, yeah, I can do.
I mean, if I'm going to wake up from my bed
It has to be worth
and
it.
just deny myself sleep, sweet slumber, then I might as well do a good job at it, or just
something
stay
you
home.
love. Yeah.
Yeah, and I absolutely love what I do, and I think that's the thing I feel people should strive for.
Yeah.
Yes, we may have been told all these things, but remember that our parents, our teachers didn't know any better. So I don't really blame them. I just think they didn't know any better. And now we do know better. And how many people, yeah, we've heard the term hustler or, you know, watu wa biashara, they're doing this, they're doing that, there's this little business, they're farming in their garden. We're already doing it by nature. We are not wired that way.
To do one thing.
To do one thing. It means we would be completely a one, you know, faceted individual. And we're not. We have many dimensions. So much. Even if you just watch a mom, you know, waking up, sorting herself out, sorting the kids, going to do this, even just that reality in pretty much every single home in this country will show you that we are not built to just do one thing. And so that's what I tell myself, that if you have this ability, and then even spiritually, we're told if you don't use your talents, they'll go. So in my mind, I'm like, yeah, God will take the voice. Hey, let me sing. And then, yeah, he'll take the, I'm like, okay, let me use the mind while we still have it. And there's that also, and just the reality that we are not promised forever. So what are you waiting for? What are you waiting for to just do? You might fail, and it's okay, but you tried, you take it off your list, write something in its place, and try that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Have you ever failed at anything?
Oh my gosh, yes.
Yeah?
Exams. Like, do you know what a U is?
You just said exams.
You know what a U is? Unmarked. The guy looks at the paper and says, yeah, no. No. Yeah, no. Okay? You. And he was not going to waste his time. I have proper failed at like exams.
Yeah.
I cannot make chapatis to save my life.
Okay.
They become like papadums. Okay? I mean, they look wonderful. Then I just do this and the thing explodes into a million pieces. I have had events that I've organized that have had, you plan for like 800 people. This was way before COVID.
Yes.
And 50 people show up. And you look at your bill and you look at the 50 people and then you want to cry, but the makeup was done and the lashes cannot start falling. And you sort of like pick yourself up and you're like, everybody put in the work. Let me just get on it, and perform for these 50 because they were the 50 faithful who showed up and they deserve a great show. I mean, I failed at I failed clients before. Not because of anything that I, you know, could have avoided. You maybe delegate a task to somebody in your team and they don't deliver. Or I remember I lost my voice once and maybe I had too many champagnes the night before. And I was supposed to be singing in the morning and my voice disappeared. I mean, for me, failure is just the inability for you to deliver on the thing that you said you were going to do. Yeah. And even sometimes doing it to the absolute best of your ability. That you have no regrets and you're not driving home going, oh, I should have done this, I should have, what did I can't do the shoulda, coulda, wouldas. I have no capacity for it. Should have. I'm so sorry. Yeah. Shoulda, coulda, would have. I cannot do them. I have no capacity for it.
Wow.
It would finish me before anything else. That would finish me faster. Regret and though I don't. So because I can't do that, and I have, as I said, I look at those little incidences in my life. It sort of brings you back to reality, reminds you that you're human. And so now failure is my best friend. When it happens, I'm like, okay, you're back. What am I supposed to learn now? And then learning how to take feedback as well, because then it becomes less of a failure and more of an opportunity to receive feedback and to improve on the thing.
So does that come with age?
Helk, yes. Yes. Helk, yes.
Helk, yes.
It comes with age. Yeah. And oh my gosh, it does.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I agree that you're able to be more graceful in your failures as you get older. You're able to be like, yeah, I've seen you before. I know you're here for a lesson. Come on in. Yeah. Let's talk.
And then it doesn't paralyze you the way it would have if I was like younger.
It's true.
So yes, I do, and it's a good thing. That's why I don't have any qualms with fear. I'm okay with failure. I'm okay with it. And again, also, it doesn't define you. It's just one incident. It's a blip in this line, and you continue. The line continues.
So being an intellectual property lawyer, and with the way that the world is going, everything is online, everybody has great ideas, everybody's doing stuff, creating content. How important is it to come see you?
Extremely important.
Yeah.
And I'm not just soliciting for work. I'm literally just saying, you've already alluded to it, the way in which the world has moved in the last 12 months alone. I mean, there was the fourth revolution, industrial revolution came and went. Then this is like information technology. It was already here.
Yes.
But the last 12 months accelerated that movement, so much so that our parents have had to learn what Zoom is.
I know.
Even when you see their noses, where are you? I can't see you. The nostril is literally, what the camera is seeing. But that even that was something that
they had to get around.
Because you can't go and see them.
Yeah.
Is insane. And so for those who are creating content or using other people's content, because there's both, right? The intellectual property world then becomes completely relevant. And so you want to protect, you want to exploit, you want to be able to share, and the parameters within which you can do all those things are governed by intellectual property. So most of the things, if it's on a digital platform and it's let's say a show like this, would have an audiovisual component, it would have an audio component, there'll probably be a musical bed by the time you're doing your edits. There'll be some special effects or some, graphics or whatever it is. All of that would be subject to intellectual property.
Wow.
So when I hear people say, oh, my video was up on YouTube and it got taken down or it's mute.
Yeah.
Have you watched those ones where moms are like filming their kids and the kid is just doing this thing, but there's no audio.
There's no sound,
And you're like, what's wrong with this mother? Was this a mistake? Did she upload this thing? But then it's because the song that was playing belonged to somebody else. And they have a right to protect what's theirs, what they spent hours and energy and intellect creating. And at the very least, if you want to use it, you can.
Yeah.
You just need to get permission, and you probably need to pay a little bit of money. But it's the same thing when you're creating content. Why wouldn't you want the same thing for yourself? And now what I've seen, though, I mean, that's the good and bad. The other side of it is more collaborations. That, I can call up my good friend, Layla Hathaway, and I just, Layla, hi, stuck in Nairobi. So can we do a song together on whatever platform?
Yeah.
And the likelihood of that happening much faster in a more casual, less expensive setup is so much more of a reality now than it would have been before. So I think, yes, create as much content as possible, but remember that if you're using something that belongs to somebody else, in a terrestrial analog world, we'd say you stole.
Wow.
Like I walked into your house, I was like, okay, I like those earrings, let me just take them. Why is music or art or any other content any different? Just because it's like, well, it's a photo. She took her phone and she just did, it's a photo.
Yeah.
No, it's the same energy that went into making this book, this table, this glass. Why would you steal it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's extremely important to just understand what IP is relevant. There's copyrights, there's trademarks, like a logo like this is covered by trademark. Artistic works, musical works, literary works are all covered by copyright. And then there's the things that are invented, like the speakers and the things that we use, the cameras are more subject to utility models or patents because of the technology. Software is a subject of copyright. So even just understanding where the thing I have created, the good or the service I've created falls is important. So that's what we do in our profession, is just help you walk through how to create, protect, then exploit the thing that make money from it and monetize. Yeah. Because why else?
Why else are you doing it?
Why else?
Well, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's nice.
There's the passion, yes.
It's nice to color the
Great,
world, and make, but it's make some money.
Yeah, sure.
Pay your rent, feed your kids.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So for a person who lives for being on stage and that live audience and the applause or that energy,
I love it. Love it.
How are you handling a worldwide pandemic where there's no events?
Pinky, I don't know how to answer that, girl. I don't know that I'm handling it. I know that I'm dealing with it, right? Which is not the same thing. Handling is like I've accepted it. It's the way it is. But I haven't. My entire performance career has been live performance.
Yeah.
I only recorded my first album like 4 years ago or something like that, 5 years ago.
Wow.
Because I was spending all my time performing to people and getting that feedback, as you say, that real, palpable sort of like love and energy. And, you rehearse, you plan, then you do that, you go home, you're like, that was so good. And you sleep, and then you wake up the next day and start rehearsing for the next one. So this thing of like recording something, I'm too much of a perfectionist. I don't think it's ever really good. But then when it's on stage, even if you make a mistake, you laugh about it. You're like, what? What key was that? This band wants me to sing. Wait, reduce the key. And then you start again. It becomes a sort of nice humor moment. And so for me, all the events we had planned for 2020, we managed to produce one event for Valentine's, which is a fundraiser with the Rotary Club of Langata. And then that was it. And then our next event was March 28th, and the announcement to shut this country down was made like 16th or something. Yeah. And it was devastating. And then I don't think we appreciated what was happening. So we're like, okay, a couple of weeks. Yeah. And then it was a couple of months, and then it was a year. And my brain was just like, my entire team, it was so immediate. And we didn't have time to like plan for the grief and to mourn and to... I think that's what
that's what a lot of people
equate it
felt.
to.
Yeah.
It's like it was death, And on this one hand, you understand why the government has to do what they need to do so that we can save lives and not have hospital beds completely full, even for people who don't have COVID but need a hospital bed. Sure. They can't access one. Yeah. Yeah. And so I had to try and figure out how to get that. Yeah. And for me, virtual things, they're not the same. They're not the same because I might be looking at you in the camera and you'll be like, oh my gosh, June's here with me in my living room. And I love her. She's so dope. But then I'm just like, where are they? Can they see me? And I'm in my mind, I'm like, where are the people? Yeah. I considered drawing, little faces on cards. And just, my brain goes left sometimes. But it was difficult. And so smaller, more intimate events, again, on platforms like Zoom where you can see people with their cameras on and they can react and still speak to you. There's a bit of a delay, but I tried, but I won't lie to you, it was not the same. Yeah. So, and then, because the universe is gracious, I got this opportunity to get on radio and I'm like, okay, I still can't see them, but I guess they can hear me. It's live. Yeah. So let me try that. And then the opportunity presented itself. It's been a couple of months. And yeah, we're just trying to fit things into the whole. Wow. And I pray so hard for the day that we can get back. And it's fine. It doesn't have to be the 1,000 people. I'm okay even with just 50, Pinky.
Yeah, even if 50. Those 50 who came before for your 800 people show, they come back.
Those 50, please come.
They will,
yeah,
June.
And I know they're missing it too. Yeah. So they keep sending, the fans are so amazing.
They're loyal.
They're so loyal. They'll email. They'll be like, they have, how Facebook and all these platforms give you like your memory. They share a memory however many years ago. Yeah. So that keeps coming up and they say, oh my gosh, I was at this show 3 years ago. And so we hope that can come back.
So now before you go.
Yes.
Yeah, because, okay, I'm your audience.
Oh, you're one of my 50.
Yeah, one of your 50. You have to sing for me, June.
I have to sing for you? Okay. What would you like me to sing?
Should I sing for you?
Yes, please. Go ahead. Let me just... The finger helps, I promise.
No, I can't. I cannot sing
at all.
Save my life. It's like I mean, like my Kiswahili is so bad.
Why'd you have to sing Kiswahili?
No, but even speaking Kiswahili is so bad.
Kuisha kuwa mabaya?
Because so mabaya.
Haya, wewe kushataka mimi fanya nini?
Wewe utaimba tafadhali.
Okay.
Kwa hiyo show yangu.
Sawa sawa. Nyimbo moja?
Please,
Okay.
anything, even just a verse,
Okay.
anything.
Okay, nitaimba sahihi.
Thank you. Asante. Nimeshukuru.
Oh, usijali. So I'm going to sing a song from my album. It's called Good Day. The album is called 20 Years, and this is a song that I wrote after a series of many, many bad days.
Okay.
And I remember stopping and thinking, oh my God, could we just not have just one good day? I don't think I'm asking for that much. So if you're feeling like that, this is Good Day. I'm sitting here thinking about the things that happened to me yesterday. Oh my gosh, I'm done wasting time. I've made up my mind to leave crazy behind and move on. So I'm stepping out into the bright sunshine, not a gray cloud in the sky. It's a new day, and it's a good day. So just put on your happy face. Yesterday's gone away. It's a new day, and it's a good day. There's no more drama, no more pain. It wasn't helping anyway. I'm gonna take this day. I'll do my thing. Ooh, yeah. I'll stay positive. That's how I'm choosing to live. All day, today. So I'm stepping out into the bright sunshine, not a gray cloud in the sky. It's a new day, and it's a good day. Oh, so just put on your happy face. Yesterday's gone away. It's a new day. It's a good day.
Oh my God.
Thank you.
Wow.
Yeah?
So, you know, they say, like my mom told me,
Yes.
if you get goosebumps when somebody sings or
Chicken
when you
skin,
listen,
chicken skin.
when you get that, it means you're very close to God. Have you ever heard that?
Wow, no.
Yeah, so apparently if you listen to music and you get, you're almost touching God.
Oh my God,
So
that's
I got
so
that.
precious.
I was like, oh my God.
Tell Mama, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank
I mean, look at the effect you have.
Yeah.
And that was beautiful.
Thank you.
You are an amazing person, June.
Thanks,
I
Pinky.
love you
You
for
too.
calming
Those are notes.
and your humor and your vibe and your energy. You're just awesome.
Shukran.
Yeah, you are dope. You absolutely are dope. June and I would love to hear from you. We'd love to know what you think about what June said, you know, about everything.
Yeah.
And you know, when are events coming back? Are you going to be at her concert? Also, intellectual property is so essential. I think that's something that, yeah, we'll encourage you to sort of think about, look at, talk about, do some research on.
Yes, please. Tell them, even if they've just started their business.
Yeah.
The better.
The
Right
better.
now is the best time.
Yeah. June, thank you
You're
so,
welcome,
so
Pinky.
much.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, always.
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, girl, you know you're always welcome here. That voice?
I couldn't have been wanting to be
I
anywhere else.
should have invited you sooner. But I'm so glad you came.
Thank you.
Yeah,
I'm glad I did too.
Thank you so much for watching. Remember, on this show, we remind you to be brave enough to learn to unlearn. We'll see you again real soon. Bye.